I'll be perfectly honest. The only reason that I want the Vikings to draft Ezra Cleveland is for the puns. Like, no one is better than Ezra. Wow, wow, ha, ha, he's good. Or Cleveland rocks. I mean, come on. Flee to the cleave. That's right. But overall, Ezra Cleveland is a really solid offensive line prospect. Now, we talked about on our videos, like we have a big 5 or sometimes big 6 offensive tackles, right? So you got Thomas, Wirfs, Wills, Becton, Josh Jones. Sometimes I'll put Austin Jackson there, depending if I'm feeling USC or not fight on. But also Ezra Cleveland, you could put him in that group. I wouldn't be too upset, but even though I think he's more on the fringe for sure. But in terms of physical upside, I mean, if you're trying to find a Brian O'Neill clone in this draft, Ezra Cleveland is it. Yeah, Boise State, also Alexander Mattison, #chemistry. We'll get into that in a sec. So let's dive in on Ezra Cleveland. I said Alexander Mattison. 6'6", 311 pounds, redshirt junior. Originally was a 3-star recruit from Bethel High School in Spanaway, Washington. Was offered by Washington State, a couple of other schools before settling on Boise State, part of their 2016 class. Nice little get for the Broncos. Started 40 games for the Broncos from 2017 to 2019. Led the way for Alexander Mattison's 1,086-yard rushing season and 12 touchdowns in 2017. Led the way for Alexander Mattison's 1,415-yard rushing campaign and 17 touchdowns in 2018. Boom. So there you go. 2019 played 916 snaps as a junior, put up an 82.5 PFF grade, allowed 12 pressures, 3 sacks, and a partridge in a pear tree on 502 pass blocking reps, but was also hampered by an early season toe injury, which, you know, when I was a kid, and like NBA players would be like out with a toe. Like Shaq always had toe problems, right? I was like, it's a toe, man. What's going on? And then you get older, and then you actually, if you ever had turf toe, or hell, even just like stubbed your toe, and then think about trying to perform at an extremely high level. So if you're Ezra Cleveland, and say you're in the NFL, say you have a toe problem. So you have these 6'6", 270-pound, move like the Predator, world-class athletes coming at you, and you're supposed to try and stop them without grabbing them, also while moving backwards, and you have a bad toe, you can kind of understand. You fully understand what was wrong with the big toe. But he went to the combine, completely overshadowed by Becton, who, of course, was the belle of the ball at the NFL combine for offensive linemen, but had himself a really nice little combine. 30 bench reps, 4.9340, great in the jumps and agility drills, and basically checked all the boxes and exceeded a bunch in terms of athletic offensive linemen. Now, hand size, small hands, whatever. I do say whatever in general, especially when it comes to hand size and offensive lineman. He's perfect for the zone scheme. He's just a great athlete, able to get lateral, reach the second level, just really get outside on those zone runs, and just flows really nicely. And if you watch some of his college tape, it kind of is a little eerie about how Brian O'Neill-ish he looks. Now, he's not as tall, not as long, not quite as athletic, but he certainly is in the neighborhood. And a lot of the things that were knocking Brian O'Neill when he came out does have issues with anchoring. I think he will struggle, at least initially, against NFL bull rushers. I think he will just get beat up by strength at times. I mean, finesse is a word that comes up a lot with him. And also, I mean, Boise State, still a great school, but the caliber of competition does factor in. So could you kick him inside at guard for a year? I don't think he necessarily has he's not a Robert Hunt. He's not a Nathaniel Moody. Like, no one's going to confuse it with that. But with the scheme that the Vikings are running, primarily really going heavy on the outside zone, I think he would be fine at the left guard spot. I mean, similar to a transition to, say, Connor Williams out of Texas when he went to the Cowboys, or Austin Corbett, who's a second-round pick out of Nevada, very high second-round pick, if I remember right, by the Browns. Eventually got traded to the Rams, started playing left guard for them in replace of Roger Saffold, right? So, like we said, he is very Brian O'Neill-ish. Got the long, tall, athletic as hell, but also does need to add size, does need to add fundamentals, and we saw, I mean, I don't want to set Ezra Cleveland up for failure just because of how amazing Brian O'Neill has been through the first 2 years, but a lot of similarities are there. And also, like we say ad nauseum on here, the easiest thing to do in the NFL is add strength, get an NFL strength program. You got the cash. You can just go raid GNC. Also, they give you stuff. Yeah, the NFL nutrition program. It's nice. And also just working with Rick Dennison, just like with Brian O'Neill, really elevate his game in 2019 as he's becoming one of the better right tackles in the league. So with Cleveland, I would be fine if they plopped him in the second round. Like, say the Vikings miss out on the tackle bonanza. So, like, of course, I prefer Thomas, Wills, Wirfs, Becton over Cleveland. Josh Jones, I would put Josh Jones slightly above Cleveland, but I would put Ezra above Austin Jackson. It's a pretty tight grouping with those three right now. But if the Vikings picked him up in the second round, then circle back, say, one of the other third-round picks picked up another tackle project, maybe even a guard. Actually, no, guard, because I like Cleveland better as a tackle prospect than I do a guard. Then I would be perfectly fine. I would be super happy with him. And also, if you look how some analysts see him, it's extremely all over the board. Like, it's very scattershot with Ezra Cleveland. Like, some places, the majority have him as an early day 2-ish pick, so round 2, round 3. Some see him as a late first rounder. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Some see him as even like a fourth rounder. I've seen it in a couple spots. So the opinions on him are very scattershot. I think it's mainly because that he has to come into his own scheme. I think it's mainly because he is going to struggle initially against bull rushers, premium bull rushers, especially in the NFL. So I think that's why teams are very met on him, because it does take a specific niche. It does take a specific team. I think the Vikings could be in. I think that's why they would have him valued higher than what some general analysts that just look from a league perspective would do. So I would be in on Ezra Cleveland. I really like him a lot, and yeah, let's go. All right, your thoughts. Ezra Cleveland, Minnesota Vikings. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to hit that join box down below, find out how you can become a monthly or platinum Jerome, support independent work. That's right, as well as drop a little something in the Venmo. But let's give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.